Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the House of Representatives. This is your state representative, Cary Condotta. Well, last week we talked about this, quote, bare bones budget at $43 billion. Not to be outdone, the Democrats have now landed their budget, and frankly, it's just about beyond belief. We start with $3.2 billion in additional revenue that we've accumulated just out of economic growth, and we add $3 billion in additional taxation, which we'll talk about in a minute, and you come to a $6.5 billion increase, or 17% over the prior budget, and projecting a $51 billion budget in the next biennium, which would be another 15%. Folks, what that works out to is a $20 billion increase in spending in just 8 years. $20 billion increase in 8 years. Now let me remind you, in the year 2000, we spent about $20 billion total. That was in the year 2000. It took 130 years to get there. And in the last 8 years, we're going to spend $20 billion more. This is outrageous. And how they get there is outrageous. The tax increases are all aimed primarily at business and at you. The one that's probably the most egregious is raising the 1% property tax limit to 5%. This puts us back to where we were prior to Initiative 747, where property taxes were going up straight up every couple years to a point where nobody could afford them. That's why 747 came along. It's worked quite well. And when people say 1% increase isn't enough, those counties and cities have the right to go out and ask for more with your vote right now. And the fact is that 75% of those cities and counties that have asked for more money have gotten it. We already have that option. We don't need to raise it to 5%. That's 5% every year. That's a 15% increase over 3 years if you take it. Hey, say goodbye to your house in Chelan, say goodbye to your house in Leavenworth, you won't be able to afford it. Not in Wenatchee either, for that matter. That's the one egregious one, and that, of course, goes to business, too. All the business folks that own a building are going to pay a lot more, too. But they're also going to pay a 20% surcharge on the B&O tax. Now, the B&O tax is currently the highest business tax in the nation, higher than any corporate income tax, and yet they want to put a 20% surcharge. And that includes hospitals, daycares, everybody that's doing business, with the exception of those that have special consideration like Boeing, who wouldn't see an increase. Now, if that's not enough for you, how about a capital gains tax? Oh yeah, we're going to do a capital gains tax. That's technically an income tax, and that will require you to turn over your federal tax return to the state. And anytime you sell a house or assets or stocks or whatever, there'll be a capital gains tax. That's another one. There'll be a tax on bottled water. They roll back a bunch of other tax exemptions and tax changes. And bottom line is $3 billion in additional taxes. Now, why wouldn't $3 billion in additional revenue be enough? Why would you have to double that? Well, to take care of some mighty big things. Two of them are the education situation. But the interesting part here is they only put $1.9 billion into education, and 1.7 of it's in salaries. Okay, we need to give the teachers some raises. I get that. But really, almost all of it's in raises, and the schools themselves don't do that well under this budget, even at $6.5 billion. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to tell you more next week because we're going to run out of time. But this thing just goes on and on and on. The bottom line is, folks, business gets the shaft every which way. There is no way you'd want to do business in this state. I call this the Idaho Job Relocation Act because people are going to be moving across the border. We're going to have to add another lane on I-90. We'll tell you more next week, and there's a lot more to tell you. Stay tuned.